and welcome to the BigCeaz Show. This is episode 25, second one of the new year. I'm your host, BigCeaz. And man, what a crazy week of football, lots of playoff games. Yes, the Packers lost to the Bears. Let's go, Bears. I've never been so happy to see the Packers lose, especially after seeing my friends give me shit all season long. Take that, Packer fans. See how it is watching the playoffs the rest of the season from your couch. And how about them Canes, baby? Where you at, busy boy? That's right. The Canes did what they had to do. They smacked that ass. Man, what a great game. Um, Shouts out to Isaiah Thomas, Jason Taylor. Uh, what an incredible year for them. Isaiah Taylor is actually Jason Taylor's son, and they play with Isaiah Taylor plays alongside with Jason Taylor, who is the defensive coordinator for the defensive line coach for the University of Miami. And for them to share that moment together after that win was so amazing. Seeing their family, being really good friends with Isaiah Taylor and his mom, Mason Taylor, throughout these years, knowing them from church. And I'm not a big fan, but I do support my friends and family. Always there to support them. So don't worry, Knoll Nation. I'm still a Knoll, but I got to support my boys, I got to support them. Great win by them. But Indiana, man, they also put a spanking on Oregon. And man, I tell you, Mendoza looks really, really good. We'll see what happens where he gets drafted. All I know is that it's coming to South Florida in the national championship. And you know that Miami fans are going to show out. So hopefully I get a chance to be there. If not for the game, I'll be tailgating with a couple of buddies outside the arena and enjoying the moment. I can't wait. National championship. It's been a long time since Miami's been in it, since against Ohio State, I believe. So, man, good for them. Good for the program. It's good to see that, and it's crazy because Matthew Kachuk earlier this year in the season is the guest for Game Day Live right here in South Florida for the University of Miami, right? He goes there and he brings that good juju. Not only does he bring the good juju, not to be a little bit braggish here, but I was there, got to see Pat McAfee, got to see Matthew Kachuk again. Maybe we brought the good juju to Miami. Maybe this is their year. Maybe this is their year to host that trophy. It's been a long time. It's good to see Jimmy Johnson, Michael Irving out there supporting the team like always. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all these great legends. Um, it's definitely amazing. Shouts out here to Die Hard. Thank you for coming on. Love you, bro. I can't wait to see the Panthers tonight. They'll be playing against the Sabres, who Busy Boy has been on that bandwagon recently. Like, I don't know which team he's going for. Is he going for Toronto, the Sabres? Like, he keeps changing teams like I changed my underwear. What's up with that? Uh, you know, the Sabres have been doing a really good lately. Have been a really good run. Have won a lot of games lately too, and this is a big game for the Florida Panthers, especially for the standings. A battle for that wild card, a big 2 points that we need to get. So it's a 4 point game. Whoever gets it, is going to get a better opportunity of getting that wild card spot. So I think Florida needs to win their next 2 games at least to have this a successful road trip. We have to have these next 2 points or these next 4 points in order for us to put ourselves in a good position before the break. So, but anyways, before actually, let's go ahead and get started now. Enough of that sports talk and all that. We'll get to it here shortly. But I want to introduce Today, joining us from South Florida, a singer who took huge step in the national stage to audition on America's Got Talent season 18. His voice, his passion, and his courage have been turning heads and inspiring people everywhere. Please welcome on our special guest today, Marcel Ledoux. Marcel, welcome to the Big
What's up, Ceaz?
Show.
What's going on? I appreciate that intro. I love that intro. Listen, I feel like I need to take you everywhere. I introduce you, you introduce me. I love it. I
Let's go,
appreciate that.
baby. Let's go.
Thank you for having me on, man.
No, thank you for coming on, bro. I
Of course.
appreciate it. And we met, I believe, I think it was 2 years ago when you ended up first going to the Florida Panthers and performing there after a game. And you were there with your band 2024. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember.
it was
June or July, somewhere around there?
no, I know exactly when it was. It was game 3 of the cup final. It was when we beat what
It was
did
the first
we
Stanley Cup, right? Against
yeah,
Edmonton.
did we go up? Did we win 5-1, 5-2 that game? I think it was the first home game because the first two games were on the road, and then it was the
Yeah.
first home game here. So it was game 3, and that's when I had met you at the Coors Light Lounge, and yeah, I mean obviously everyone knows who you are. You are a South Florida legend, a Florida
Well,
Panthers
at that time, I
legend.
wasn't a legend then.
No,
I mean, I was
everything
known,
that,
but I wasn't
everything
known.
that, yeah, no, everything that came after that elevated your legendary status. But I think, despite that, everyone knew who you were. And I had ran into you. I think you were, navigating through the crowd, and I turned around and boom, you were right there, and I was so like elated. I was so excited, and I was just like, oh, can I curse?
Yeah,
Am I allowed
you
to?
good.
Oh,
You're
okay,
good.
cool. Okay, cool. I literally was like, oh shit, it's Big C's. Yo, I see you everywhere online, and you were just so kind and so gracious. I think we even did like a video to Busy Boy, and ever since then, like you and I have, communicated with one another, text, phone calls, seen each other at the game, and um it's just been nothing but a growing friendship from there. So yeah, no, I remember exactly where I met you, the exact day, everything about it, because again, game 3 of the cup finals, and just having the opportunity to um perform at a Stanley Cup final game was like, that's just one for me,
It was
one of the
incredible,
coolest
right?
things in the world. Yeah, one of
And
the
for
coolest
us to
things in the
win
world.
our first cup ever, that I'll never forget that moment. Throughout the journey, and everybody knows my story and stuff. But talk about your impression when we first won the cup. How, let's kind of go back a little bit.
Okay.
How did you become a Panther fan?
So honestly, I feel like, I'm born and raised here in South Florida. So hockey was,
305 or
from
954?
so born in 954. Old Miramar is where I was
Okay.
born and raised in, like old Miramar, like east of University Miramar, not the west expensive side of Miramar. Um but yeah, so I was born there first 14, 15 years of my life, and then I moved to Dade County, Ives Dairy, and then throughout like my 20s, and I moved everywhere in Dade County, and now I'm back to Broward County. But so I always, when someone asks me where I'm from, I never claim Miami, I never claim Broward, and it's not that I'm not proud to represent. I'm just always big on not misrepresenting anything about me or where I'm from. So I always just say South Florida, because I feel like I could speak to so many different areas. But I say all that to say, I feel like from a professional sports standpoint, outside of Inter Miami, I feel like hockey
What a year
was
that
the.
they had too,
Oh yeah, no,
right?
incredible. I mean, it's the one thing that we've been missing down here from a professional sports championship, right?
Yep.
But if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anybody. I think the Florida Panthers were the last to join like the professional ranks here in South Florida, like I said, outside of Inter Miami. And so, I grew up a football kid, a Dolphins fan by way of my father. And, he punished me for life being a Dolphins fan. So I
It's
thank him
okay. I'm
so
a
much.
Cowboy fan,
I
so
thank him. Hey,
I feel you too.
hey, at least the Cowboys have been to the playoffs and have won some stuff here and there.
Okay.
Listen, I can't. We won't get into that,
We
but
won't get into it.
um,
No, no, no.
but yeah, football was probably my first love. Playing Optimist football, basketball probably my second love, and honestly, I feel like maybe like a lot of kids in terms of like when you were born, I got into hockey because of the Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks
Bro.
was again, I feel like anybody in our age range is probably
Yes.
going to say the same thing, especially down here. We're not a predominant hockey town. Like, that was foreign to us. But there was something about that movie that just made you want to play hockey. And before you know it, like we're setting up things in the middle of the street. We're playing. First you start on just running around, and then you get rollerblades, and then you get gloves, and then you kind of elevate in what the street hockey game in your neighborhood looks like. And that's how it started for me. I remember while I was young, I still remember the first cup against the Avalanche. That was an exciting time again, because I think that was right on the heat, like right around when the Marlins were getting good.
Yep.
So
96.
it was,
Like,
96. Yeah. And because Marlins won in what, 97. So
yep.
it was an exciting time, for South Florida sports, especially with a team being, both teams being so young,
Yeah.
in their creation. But yeah, that's where my love for it started. And, I'll be honest. I think South Florida fans get such a bad rap of being, fair weather fans. And maybe there's some truth to it, maybe there's not. But tell me any city in the country that wants to watch a shit product, or you're going to pay to go to a game
Exactly.
and watch a shit product. Like, there's nowhere in the country that you want to do that. And I think what a lot of people don't understand down here in South Florida is there's so many things to do. There's so many things to do. So it's like, if the product is bad, it's like, okay, I could spend my time to go watch this, or I could go do something over here. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a
Right.
party, whether it's whatever it is. So I don't think our fans are bad. I think there's just so many options down here. And again, we just want
I
a good
just think that
product.
the diversity down here in Florida is
Mm-hmm.
so big, where like we have fans that cheer on several different teams, right? Because there's people that come from the northeast, Canada,
Mm-hmm.
down here, the snowbirds. So
Yep.
they have houses down here too. So I think that has a factor as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely plays a part in it. And I'm just super proud of the last 4 to 5 years have very much reminded me of like the LeBron Wade Bosch run that the Heat had, in the early 2010s, and the excitement that it brought to the city. I still don't think um hockey, or is the more dominant or more popular sport in our city in South Florida. But I could definitely say, with what the Panthers have put together, what Zito, Paul Maurice have put together in terms of the product on the ice, it's
Yes.
hard to argue that they're not one of the more popular tickets in the town. I think for a lot of people in Miami, it's hard to travel north to go to these games. But I be trying. I'd be like, listen,
Right.
I live near the arena. You let me know when you're ready to go to a game. I'm like, forget going out. Let's go to a game.
Right.
Because they're just fun. They're exciting.
And the thing is, like, it all starts with the ownership, because after that 96 season,
Mm-hmm.
the team, like after Huizinga sold the team to different ownerships, the team just started just spinning its wheels, right?
Yep.
We were not, we were not, we were known as a laughing stock of the league. People wanted us to move, people wanted us to go elsewhere. And,
I mean, they were giving away tickets at
they were.
what was it? They were giving away tickets at Publix. Like, wasn't it like Blockbuster? They were giving away tickets at too. Something like they were.
Oh, did you ever go to the old Blockbuster golfing games here on?
I loved Blockbuster golfing
That's
games.
where I live. I literally live like on the other side of 95.
Yo,
So my brother and
what a
I
fun place.
we would go there all the time. I remember the golfing area they had, the arcade, the
My favorite was the bumper boats.
oh dude,
The
those were
bumper boats, the
awesome.
bumper boats were the best. The bumper boats were absolutely. I think
Batting cages.
yes, it had everything. It was like boomers on steroids.
bro. I think the '90s were the shit.
Oh yeah,
By
hands
far the
down.
best.
Hands down, hands down. And it's funny. I don't know if that's nostalgia talking. It feels like the '90s were the best because we had all these things, but then we have a lot of things now. You know what I'm saying? I think,
Yeah.
there's pros and cons to everything, right? But
Oh,
I think just because we grew up in that time, and just some of those things that we had that allowed us to, you know, feel like kids, like, and allowed us to it gave us permission to be kids,
dude,
and
you're
I feel
so
like there's a
right.
lot of I feel like there's a lot of restrictions these days where kids might have to grow up faster than they intended to, that doesn't allow them to be kids. Like, like kids are not playing outside anymore. Like they're taking down
I feel
playgrounds. Like a
like
lot of these things.
maybe maybe you can get your input on this, but I feel like people are more judgmental now than they've ever been in the past.
Absolutely, with everything, with people with race, age, gender, everything. We are a very very judgmental world and society right now, and uh, I attribute that to social media providing, or voices for people that may not have had voices in the past. If you think about
Right.
it, and it's a good or bad thing. Like I think social media has given voices to people that, if it wasn't for social media, wouldn't have a voice, and they deserve to have a
Like
voice on a
me,
larger
right?
platform.
Who would
Exactly,
have known? Like
exactly. If
if
you wanted to do if you wanted to do something like this, then in the '90s, you had to go to broadcasting school. You had to go through proper channels just to do something like this. But because of easily accessible equipment, because of social
yes,
media, it gives you the opportunity, and other individuals like you, to develop something like this, to bring people on and to give them an opportunity to speak. And it's I think, just like everything, there's pros and cons. I think some people that have a very very loud voice that might be spewing negativity and pitting, groups of people against each other, and some people should not have that platform, and I think, again, I think that is the duality of the world that we live in. Some of the
yes,
things that are good, can be used for negative, or I don't want to go as far as saying evil, but that's the opposite of good, right? Is evil, I guess you could say.
right.
So yeah, so again, you take the good with the bad, and but yeah, I agree with you. I think everything is judged extremely harshly, and I think it's some people
It's
want to
like
have they want to be outliers. They want to be
mhm.
the one voice that says, if everyone
Rather
says,
than
"Oh,
like
I like this,"
accepting somebody else's opinion,
yeah,
we're too quickly to judge. Oh, okay, just because that person agrees with something else and that we don't agree with, they're wrong.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. There's no seeking to understand. There's
yeah,
no, and I think we were talking about it a little bit before we went on air. It's just like, yo, like I don't have really strong opinions about a lot of things that go on in this world. It doesn't mean I'm in the middle. I do have my beliefs and the things that I like, but I'm also, if let's say, I'm going to give a very very prime example, because I do have
yeah,
kids in my family. I have nieces and nephews and stuff like that, like the K-pop Demon Hunters thing, that is still popular. But let's say a few months ago there was a surge of popularity because of the song. Like people's like, oh, this song is annoying, this song is annoying. It's just like, I sat in a theater watching kids get up and jump in and enjoy it, and I was like, you know what, this is cool. I'm happy for these kids that they get to be so excited about something that is just speaking to them. It's music, and I love music. I'm like, it might not be something that I listen to every day, but I'm like, you know what, this is tolerable for me. It's not hurting anybody. These kids are finding so much joy in it. Who cares? It's not hurting anybody. But there's some that will go extreme with their negative opinion, and it's just, I think we just need to kind of, if it's not hurting you, if it's not hurting someone, who cares? Just, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Just let it go.
right. And I kind of agree. And I was watching yesterday on the Spanglish podcast where you were on,
Mm-hmm.
talking about how, I guess if somebody likes to be that wants the attention, go ahead and tell everybody that you want
Yeah.
the attention, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna judge you. But if you sit there and say, like, oh, I just broke up with somebody just to post it,
Yeah.
like people are gonna judge you. And you
Yeah.
gotta go ahead and accept the backlash. But if you actually go out there and tell people that Hey, I love the attention. You know, talk a little bit about what you meant with that.
Yeah, I think I'm glad that you brought that up because I think yeah, I mean, it's just like any to simplify it, it's just like any kid that in the family that wants attention. Like, yo, wanting attention or seeking attention is not a bad thing. In
No,
my like, I used to. I think I used to view it as a bad thing, but I think it's all about how you go about it. I don't think if you say, "Yo, I like attention," I seek attention at times. I think that's fine. I think it's just all about how you go about it. Is it are you trying to do something out of character that brings attention? Are you masking are you masking seeking attention with something else? Like I just don't think I think if we were more honest,
right.
I think that it would result in less ridicule, I guess you could say. I just don't think there's anything wrong with wanting attention. I think at some point everybody, whether they vocalize it or not, would like some attention. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like
It's human nature, right?
of course, especially if we're doing something like this. Especially me as an artist, I'll say that I don't do it just to fulfill something that I love. Yeah, that's a part of it, but yeah, I want attention. I want eyes on me. I want to develop fans and supporters. And the same thing with you with this platform. That there's attention is not a bad thing.
No,
I just think it's all contingent upon what are you doing to get the attention. Are you doing something out of character or unethical to get that attention? If it kind of crosses that line, that's where I'm like, this is a little bit too much.
exactly. No, I 100% agree with that. Let's kind of get into the music side of it there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us about how your musical journey. How did it all begin?
Man, I don't want to sound so cliche, but it started when I was young. I think my mother put me in my first talent show, um, 6, 7 years old. And if I could remember correctly, I don't get to tell the story often, but if I could remember correctly, I think one of the first songs that I sang in a talent show was, I believe it was a song from the Disney movie Oliver and Company. I don't know, I can't tell you which song, but that movie sticks out to me because I was really big into that movie at that time. But yeah, it started from there, and some of my early influences. Then it started as a way for me to talk to girls at a young age.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Were you
I
a
feel
big
like
player?
no, I can't say I was that. I was definitely a lover boy for sure, and I think that was just a result of the music I listened to. Like, I was really big. I think one of my earliest influences and probably the first groups that I discovered on my own. And when I say on my own, without like the influence of my parents' music and
Uh-huh.
stuff that they listened to, I think one of the first groups that I discovered on my own was Boys to Men. Which
Oh,
then,
okay.
yeah. So, and then if you just think about some of the big hits that they had at that point, I'll Make Love to You, On Bended Knee, Water Runs Dry. Like, I was a young kid singing some of these songs and some of these lyrics. I had no business singing this shit to girls, no business whatsoever. I had no idea what the songs meant, but I just knew they sounded good. So once I discovered Boyz II Men, obviously Boyz II Men is not the first of their kind. So you start to kind of learn about some of the groups that came before them or some of their peers, like the Jodeci's, and obviously New Edition was probably one of the first of its kind. Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, and so I gravitated towards a lot of groups and doo-wop and harmonies. I love a good 4 or 5 part harmony. And then I feel like that was early 90s. And then, you get to mid 90s and you have groups like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and, this resurgence of the boy bands. And again, I think they caught a lot of flack because of how taboo they were. And
Right.
but let me tell you, they got girls. And I was all about anything that got girls at a
You
young age.
you and I,
So,
Marcel, like we are like I don't know how crazy this is, but we are so similar in that. Like back in I'm trying to think, what, 99, 98, 99?
that's it.
And Sync, my brother and I were all for it, bro.
Yo,
Bro, that was my band. JC was my guy. He was
JC's the
awesome.
best voice, best
Bro,
voice.
my brother loved Chris. the crazy one. My
Crazy
brother was
hair. Yep,
always the
yep,
crazy
yep.
one doing crazy shit around the house,
I
or
love it.
you
I
know,
love it.
and we were just like we would watch them all the time. Every time they would come on Disney or they would come on Nickelodeon and do concerts and stuff, right?
Yeah, yep.
Um, we ended up going to three concerts here, growing up as a teenager, and of course, we were the only guys there.
Yo,
Why not go? You know how many
why
girls
not
are there?
go?
People
Why
judge me
not
all the time,
go?
bro. They're like,
Yeah,
"In
look, and
sync?"
yeah, yeah, nah, it's funny. Like, so obviously, Backstreet, in terms of the states was first, and then NSYNC followed, and NSYNC didn't really blow up until that Disney concert. And
Yep,
I had to
I know
draw a
which one
line.
you're talking about, right?
I had to draw a line in the sand. Was I a Backstreet guy or an NSYNC guy? And I definitely picked the NSYNC
Oh,
side. And
let's go.
yeah,
You know
I
what's crazy? I like in middle school, I took band because I knew all the girls were going to be in there. So I took band and I played the flute. And there was a cute girl next to me, and she was a Backstreet Boys girl, and I was an NSYNC
ooh.
guy. So we would go back and forth,
Hey,
but
listen,
it was a great
Backstreet had.
opportunity to talk to her, right?
See, you know the vibes. You
Yes,
get
you and
it.
I,
You
we
get
got
it.
this. We got this.
But it was so it ran deep for me because so I have two younger sisters. I'm the oldest of the three of us, and a lot of people even still to this day, like I am a huge NSYNC fan. Like I still have some memorabilia. I even picked up some recent things on eBay. Like I'm always looking for stuff, and everyone's always someone asked me the question. It was the first time I feel like someone asked me the question looking or seeking for a legitimate answer, because I think everybody that knew me at the time just knew me as a crazy NSYNC fan, which is fine. But someone asked like, hey, like even still now as an adult, all these years later, these guys obviously Timberlake is one of
Oh,
the
he took off
biggest,
and just.
yeah, one of the biggest
I think we all
stars
seen
that.
that coming, though, right?
Yeah, I think we've seen it coming. I think everyone wanted the same thing for JC, like you said. JC probably, not probably, definitely had the better voice of the two. And
Yeah.
even Justin says that like JC is still one of his favorite singers. So I think even Justin knows that. And I think we expected some of the same like career trajectory for JC, but just cards don't fall the certain way sometimes. It just is what it is. But someone asked me, why do you still like NSYNC the way that you do? And I say, back then 90 99 2000 was a really rough time for my family,
Okay.
and NSYNC was and just to give context, my pops got locked up. We
Oh
got
man.
evicted. Yeah, we got evicted. We ended up having to my two sisters and my mom ended up having to move in with my grandmother, who was not prepared for that. Lived in a small apartment, so we was sleeping in like the living room for for some time, like for at least 6 or 7 months before we could kind of get up on our feet. And NSYNC was the one thing, it was the first thing that we as a family, because I was always into sports, my sisters weren't into sports, but it was the first thing as a family that we were all, my sisters, my mom, even my grandmother, were able to bond over. And like you said, get excited. Like when those guys were on award shows or doing specials on TV, it was something that we would do together and partake together and watch together. And we were equally excited about, maybe I was probably the most excited, but equally excited about it, and that what that meant to, me and my family at that time, the fact that we bonded over them, they'll always have
You'll
a
always
special
have that.
place. Yeah. No, it's more than the music. It's what they did, for my family, and just, kind of, musically just got us through some really, really tough times. So I'll always be a fan. But yeah, that's where, and so bring it all back to music, like, getting like entering into high school. So I started I was in a performing arts, magnet high school down here in
Before you
South
get
Florida.
that, real quick, I know
Yep.
my brother might kill me for sharing this on social media, but I don't care. I'm Big C.
Do it. Do it.
There it is.
Let's go.
When I tell you I was an
I
insane fan,
I
look at
love
that.
this.
Look at that.
I love this. This is great, bro.
Does this bring
And and
nostalgia or
and
what?
and let me tell you now, because I have a bunch of NSYNC shirts now, and I think what I love is all these years later, everyone that was, around the appropriate age that was dogging them, they're now like, oh yeah, NSYNC was cool because
Right?
it wasn't cool
It
to say
wasn't
that they
cool
were
back
cool back
then.
then. Yeah. And the fact that you're rocking the shirt then, bro, that's what I'm talking about. That's the level of I don't give a fuckness that I'm all about, yo.
I'm telling you, we did anything. I remember it was my birthday, and the concert was coming up. I was so upset we couldn't go, and my homeschool teacher surprised us with the limo. He brought
Yo,
up a
that
limo. He
is
brought up some
fire.
shirts. He's like, "Here, there's this good friend that got tickets for. They want you to go with them. A couple of girls in there. We all went in the limo. We
That
felt like
is
we
so
were in
cool.
sync in the limo. Dude, we were
That is
on
so cool.
amazing. It was
And and
amazing,
and and you know what? To that's why I'm not mad at watching kids enjoy the things that they enjoy now, because that for them, that was us.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
us. That was
Great point.
us.
Yeah,
That was absolutely so. That's why and I don't know if it's because I'm still in touch with the immature side of myself. I don't know what it is, but when I see that, it brings so much joy to me. I don't like. I just like seeing kids be kids. Like so many people get bothered by kids being kids, and it's just like, yo, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect from kids? Let
right.
them be kids. Let them geek out over these things. It does not matter. Who cares? Who cares? But love that photo. Not to
Sorry
be
to
long.
interrupt. That you were
No,
talking
no, no,
about.
no. You're good. Not to be long
You're
winded,
good.
but
You're
yes.
good.
So going into high school, went to a performing arts magnet high school, and like I always wanted to be in a group. Like I said, I loved 4 or 5 part harmony. So we started learning NSYNC songs. We started learning the Boyz II Men songs, and we were like the group that would just sit around lunch and just start singing a cappella, and in class singing a cappella, and again doing it for girls, like doing it to impress girls, and it was a great icebreaker. It was a
It
great
was.
icebreaker, um and then from there, I think I recorded like my first song professionally, like 15, 16 years old. Like one of my teachers at the time had a son who was older, and he was a producer and writer, and she linked me with him, and I would spend weekends going to record, and at the time it felt like I was going such a long ways away, but I was probably going to like West Palm or something like that and spending the weekend at someone's dorm, and just working on music at that time. And that just wanting to do music like on a professional level just kind of, it just bit me, and I've been at it, and I've been through so many levels on this journey. I've seen so many people gain a level of success that I've always wanted or always imagined. And I don't think I'm anywhere where I thought or want to be, but my love for entertaining people, my love for inspiring people through my gift is something that keeps me going and makes me want to do it no matter what level I'm doing it on. So that's like the long and short end version of like my story in terms of music and getting into music and pursuing music.
That's so awesome. And before we get to our break, I want to ask you one more question.
Go for it.
What was your favorite NSYNC song all time?
Ooh, ooh, can we go album by album?
We could do album by album.
Yeah, I need that because that's tough. All right, so first album, I'll say I Drive Myself Crazy.
I love that one.
Yeah, I'll say I'll Drive Myself Crazy. You mentioned Chris because Chris got a solo in that, and
Yep.
I like that. No Strings Attached may have been. I mean, you gotta love the singles. Bye bye bye. It's gonna be me. It was a
I feel
song that
like Bye 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 was great, but It's Gonna Be Me was
it
that.
just.
I felt
Oh
like
yeah.
it was just. I felt like that was like the new up and coming pop. Like it started changing, transitioning, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like there was like and it's funny. I feel like it was the catalyst for the next album, which they kind of labeled dirty pop. But to your point, like it sounded a little bit more grungy, a little bit more. Some of the sounds musically sounded a little bit more alternative ish. I think that album, there's a song on that album, if you know it very well, called "I'll Be Good for You," and it was probably the most R&B ish sounding song on that album. And I think Justin co-wrote it with their, at that time, their um, not band manager, but he was their musical director for the band. And
Yeah.
it's a great song. It should have been a single, but and then last album, I feel like the clear cut answer is Gone. I feel like Gone was that song. You know, it took him to 106 in Park. It was kind of the soft launch of Justin's solo career. So I have to say, I want to. There's a part of me that kind of wants to say Girlfriend, because that remix with Nelly was fire.
Oh, that was so good.
But
That was
but
so
I
good.
have to say
Especially because
Gone.
that was Nelly's like prime.
I mean, it was, but it was all like that TRL 106 in Park, like that era was like, you had all these. I remember you had Jay-Z collaborating with Linkin
Right?
Park. You had so many different crossovers that if it wasn't for like a TRL or the platforms that we had back then, may not have happened, you know. But I have to say that last album, I think Gone is that song.
No, for
Gone
sure.
is that song.
One of my favorite albums was actually the Home for Christmas album,
Oh, Home for
which was
Christmas is
released on
phenomenal.
98, right? I would play that album every Christmas, and it was just like,
My
oh
wife and I
man,
still play it every year in our house.
it's
We still play
amazing,
it.
right?
Yeah, no, front to back. I'm sure the fans of your show are probably like, I did not tune in to watch these guys talk about NSYNC.
And we're gonna move on a little bit here.
Yeah.
But first, let me get to our sponsor.
Let's do
Uh,
it. Got to
let's
get to the
go.
sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by iTix Now. iTix Now is the first verified ticket marketplace built for Florida Panther fans only, and other fans that come to the game, making it safe and easy to buy tickets with zero scams, zero fees. Visit ITTix or ITIXNOW today and sign up for free. No fees, no scams. If Big C's can sign up and be part of it, you know it's legit. Sign up now. Let's go. Awesome. And man, Marcel, we just got started with just the music, man. I feel like we're brothers from another mother because like we have so many similarities, bro. Um, talk about your young age in sports. Like you talked about playing Optimist football and basketball. How has
Yeah.
sports created your personality or made you into the person you are today?
I think it's the camaraderie of sports, the togetherness of sports, the you know, uniting with one goal in mind is kind of something that I apply to music today. You know, I when I perform, I have a band. You know, and a lot of the songs that we perform are songs that I've probably written in the past, like by myself, and some of these musicians that play with me really have, let's you know, I'm going to use air quotes, no skin in the songs that we're performing. But I always try to encourage, like, yo, it's not about me. Yes, I'm the voice. Yes, I'm the front man, but it's about making the audience feel something. And whatever instrument you are playing is just as important as any note that I'm playing. And I think that is the same thing like sports, you know, like, yes, you have your, you know, we could do football, your star quarterback, your star running back, your star wide receiver. But with, you know, without your right tackle, your right guard, your center, your left guard, like without all these positions to create the play for them to make the big play and be the star that they are, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen, you know? So I just think just having that experience on whether it was Optimus or, you know, being in rec leagues or just even just even pickup ball, you know?
Yeah, just the team bonding, playing with
Yeah,
your
just,
friends, right?
yeah, exactly. And that's what it was for me. I think, you know, going back to pursuing the career in music for me was always, I always wanted to gain a level of, now it's, you know, it's funny, as you're younger, you look at it as fame is success, right? And now that, you know, we're older, we have the ability to differentiate the two. fame doesn't always mean that you're successful, and being successful doesn't always mean that you're famous. um, I think my core reason for wanting to do music and do it at such a high level, and reach a level of fame or success, is still because the same reasons that I did it, or I said I wanted to do it as a teenager, was I wanted to, um, and I know we want to move on from the NSYNC conversation, but just seeing them live and seeing those guys on stage have fun with each other, entertaining millions. I
Yeah.
looked at that and I was like, yo, these guys get to see the world with their friends, their brothers, and they get to do what they love. I'm like, that is exactly why I want to do it. And that still remains the reason to this day. I want to see the world with the people that I love, all off of the strength of our talents. And let's be honest, like I enjoy giving back and helping others, and you could still do that at this level. But when you have some success, financial freedom and stuff like that, the ability to help others in a bigger way is a lot easier. So there's that component of it as well.
Yeah, and I remember watching the documentary of NSYNC on VHS, just watching the backs, like them being on backstage, their
Hmm.
journey of becoming successful, the grind, and them being best friends, and just playing with each other, like having fun on the bus, on the tour
Yeah,
buses, interacting with their fans,
those are
having their
you're creating
parents come
memories.
along, right?
Yeah,
And it kind of like what we see too with players when we see like inside the NHL or inside the NFL, you get to see the back end and stories of what they go through on the backside, and you're like, man,
yeah.
that is so much fun, and it kind of motivates you wanting to do that too, right?
Of course, I'm such a sports guy. I love anything behind the scenes when it comes to sports or music. I love the process. I love watching the
Yeah,
process, and because that's where the stars are made, is the process, what goes into it.
yeah,
Like the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Jordans, like the sacrifice, the time that they put into this stuff. And you look at that and you're like, yo, if there's anything that I want to replicate or duplicate, it's the process. So
yeah.
you look at it like, yo, how could I take some of that and apply it to what I do, in order to produce the best product that I can produce. So I love
Exactly.
watching all behind the scenes stuff, in studio stuff, the process, the thought process behind things. I think it's just always a beautiful story to tell, especially as artists. Like, you're literally materializing something out of an idea that just popped in your head. Like,
Right, right.
if
No,
that's
and
if that's not near godlike, I don't know what it is. Like it's special.
another thing too, it kind of goes behind the scenes of how hard you have to work to get to where you are at. Nothing
Absolutely.
is really given to you, like,
Not at all.
and you know, kind of want to talk a little bit about going into the next segment here. Let's go into your opportunity of being on America's Got Talent, your experience. Walk through us your experience of auditioning for America's Got Talent season 18.
Yeah.
What was going through your head before it all that even arose?
Yeah. Nah. So I do wanna state a disclaimer that, while I got to go through the entire process, and I'll talk about the entire process, my audition never aired. Not that it was ever guaranteed to air. This is just part of these
Okay.
shows. This is just how it goes. But my audition never aired. But I could start from, and I'll try not to be
Still a
long.
great opportunity, right?
Oh yeah, no, amazing opportunity. We flew out. We got like, I'll get there to show you how, like, in the opportunity we were. So I was, I think American Idol, in terms of our generation, was probably, obviously all these shows you had American Bandstand, you had Star Search, like, throughout all the decades, every I feel like every decade
We
had
have the
their,
voice now, right?
yeah, the voice, yeah. So American Idol was one of the first of these shows that we have now, right?
And
So I
I
remember,
still watch it to this day.
yeah, it's funny. It's hard for me to watch some of these shows, and I don't know if it's an envy thing. I can't figure it out yet.
Okay.
Um, Hard for me to watch it, but I did watch what was the most recent one on Netflix, the Building a Band. I did eventually get through that, the one that AJ hosts. I did eventually get through that, and I really enjoyed that. But I don't know why it's hard for me to watch these shows. Again, I'm open to admitting that it could be some envy there. Maybe I'm unsure. But I remember auditioning for American Idol season 2,
Okay.
way back when, and that's when they had the audition at the Fountain Blue. Um, and the process was strenuous. I was young at that time, and what I had to go through was a 2-3 day process, and um, I didn't get much anywhere. I auditioned for a producer of the show, and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth of some of these shows and what goes into picking the talent for these shows. And then fast forward years later, I auditioned for. I drove up to Orlando at this age. I'm an adult. I drive up to Orlando for season 2 of The Voice, and that was an entire day process, and kind of very similar to the American Idol process. But you get in the room in front of a bunch of other contestants, sing for producer. Producer likes you, they move you on to the next thing, and that didn't happen. And I just started to look at like, okay, are y'all looking for talent, storylines? Like, what is this? Is this
Because they seem to get like these wackos that have no
yeah,
like no
exactly,
reason to be by there, and then
exactly,
all of
and
a sudden they get like famous, and then all of a sudden like the what's that Asian guy from American Idol?
William Hung.
William Huang. There we go. Oh my God, dude, that guy ended up being famous for like 2 or 3 years.
Right,
Like what the
exactly.
heck?
Yeah, so and I feel like everyone, the public opinion about these shows are like, yo, okay, like is it like, obviously there's no denying there's real talent on there. There's
Right.
no denying that. But like, are y'all really searching for real talent, or are you looking for entertainment? And we know
I
that
feel like it's all entertainment, right?
entertainment sells. We know that. There's no denying
Yeah.
that. So my opinion on these shows for a very, very long time, ever since that, my personal experience auditioning for The Voice, was I don't like them. They seem like there's a flaw in them, and yada yada yada. Fast forward to this opportunity. There was a producer from America's Got Talent that reached out to one of my really, really close friends by the name of King Tetris. He's an MC here from Miami. She reached out to him via DM because he had some buzz and some visibility online, and she had reached out and said, hey, I'm coming to South Florida to audition talent. Do you have anybody that you want to send my way? And he sent my name and another person's name, and that producer reached out to me via DM on IG, and everything is a scam, everything is a fraud these days. So
Right.
I was like, oh, this has to be a scam. I go ahead and I Google the producer's name, and I see the credentials. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, this really might be real. This particular producer was a singer themselves. She was on The Voice, had again credentials, like real stuff that you could see. And I was like, okay, all right, so this is real. And then I was like, well, and I was very shit. I was like, I'll be honest with you, I don't like these shows. I don't watch them. I don't know anything about them. I don't care for them. It doesn't make or break me, but I'm open to having a conversation. And she was so great with me. She was so honest with me. And, she said, I get, why you don't like these shows, but we're looking to bring on genuine talent, with genuine purpose, yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay, cool. They were holding a showcase in North Miami, brought me to North Miami, got to hear my story, got to talk to me. And she was just like, yo, like, there's just something about you. Like you're obviously you look like a white boy, but you're from down here. So you're not really like white. And she's like, yo, there's just something intriguing about you. And so they filmed. Yeah. And I mean, I am who I am. There's no, like, I'm all about authenticity and intention. If I can't do anything authentically, I'm not going to do it. I don't care how much money it will make me, how famous it will make me. If I can't be me, I'm not doing it. So, and that was the point that I was getting across to her. And the other person in the room was the social media manager. And so they filmed me. I auditioned. 2 weeks later, I get a call. The producers loved you. We want to fly you out. Cool. Awesome. My next question with all this stuff is like, hey, I'm not coming if my wife can't come. They're like, no problem. Your wife could come. I was like, you have me there. And so flew us out to Pasadena in California. It was a great experience. The hotel is on site where you audition. Touchdown on a Wednesday. I went straight to shooting all like background stuff, B-roll stuff, all the interviews, the testimonies that you see in the middle of auditions or before auditions, did all that stuff. And so, it was a 3-4 day process, all filled with, sometimes waiting around, sometimes, rehearsing what you're going to perform. And just what I loved about America's Got Talent compared to probably some of these other shows is it's not only singing, it's
It's
so
different
many
talents,
other
right?
so many different talents. And it almost felt like I was in a circus. And I mean that in the best way possible. When I say circus, you have so many different talents within a circus. You know, you have trapeze artists, you have, those that do the fire stuff. It felt like that. Like there was so many different,
Magicians. I think my
yeah,
favorite
magician.
ones are the magicians. They're just
Oh,
so
yo, the
incredible.
illusionists, they're so good. Yeah, so what I loved about it was that my wife was there to experience it and see it. And going back to what I had just said previously, my goal with music was to see the world with the people that I love. And granted, Pasadena, California was not the world, but this is a nationally televised show, Um, so, to kind of fast forward through the process. So yes, I was in a full auditorium in front of Simon, in front of Heidi, in front of Sophia, in front of Howie.
How how hot was Sophia? Oh, come on.
That lean
I
in,
mean,
I knew exactly what you were gonna say. I knew
I
exactly what
mean,
you were gonna say. That
oh,
lean in was
there's something about Colombians. I don't know what it is. Ay caramba.
Oh man. Yeah, when you hit that lean in, when you hit the, I already knew where you were going. I already knew you were going. I'll be,
I
I'll
know
be
you're married.
very,
It's all good
yeah,
though.
no, it's okay. She understands. She gets it. I think she even agrees that Sophia's hot herself. But I'll be honest with you, very surreal. Like I think I was so nervous because I just always want to do good, and I always want to make the best of every opportunity that I'm given with my talent. So I'll be honest, I don't think I processed a lot of like some of those things, like those natural, but like, damn, Sophia's so hot. Like some of these natural thoughts that you would have, I didn't have them. Like I'll be very like, because I'm just so
You're
in
just
my
trying to
head
like
about,
take it all in, right?
yeah, because again, so the day of the audition, you're on the street in front of, so they treat the taping of America's Got Talent as like a tourist attraction. Around the cafes in Pasadena, they have flyers that say, hey, if you want to attend a taping, call this number, yada yada. So all the people that are in the
So
audience
it's
are
basically
regular people.
open to the public, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That's
regular people that
insane.
are, yeah, no, it's and again, as someone who never watched the show, I was not aware of this. I'm thinking, uh, you know how American Idol is before they get to the live shows, you just go on an audition for the judges and that's it. No, when they said, hey, no, you're in an auditorium in front of, that's when I started sweating. Like I started sweating in places that I didn't know I could sweat, and it was very uncomfortable. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, so I had to readjust my expectations and how to present myself. And so the day of the audition, they do two shows, and my audition was in the later show. And before you do the show, you're doing all B-roll stuff. So they had me outside of the auditorium doing stuff on the street, like everything that you see on the show where they see the person walking up to the auditorium. I was filming all of that stuff. And admittedly, and my wife could attest to this, I'm getting catcalled. I'm sitting there as the camera's in my face. There's older women that are like, "Let me see you smile, honey. Let me see you
Oh
smile."
my
And of
god!
course that prompts
I'm sure you
that
love
prompts a
that.
laugh. I mean, let me tell you, it's going back to the attention thing. Absolutely. Did I feel uncomfortable? Is it funny? Yes. Did I feel uncomfortable? Yes. Did it feel great? Yes. Like it was all of the above, right? But also, I think about women that get catcalled and that's unwarranted, like how uncomfortable. Like I didn't need to experience that to know that it's an uncomfortable thing being catcalled. But for me as a man, we can make fun of that because my life is not being threatened, and it was all in good fun, I guess you could say. Definitely uncomfortable, definitely something I'm not used to, but funny nonetheless. And you're walking with producers, they're escorting you, and one of the producers like, yeah, they do that, get used to that. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, wow. So yeah, so fast forward to the audition. The audition was great. Howie said that he was ready to listen to me in his car.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Simon called.
awesome.
Yeah,
Coming from
Simon.
Howie, because he's very
Well,
Very,
yeah,
very
no, he's
critical with
very,
singing.
very critical, very, very critical. And everyone thinks Simon is the most critical. And I think just because of the reputation he got from American Idol. But what I found out was that no, Howie's the more critical one. Simon said I was a star. Um, Sophia was very surprised by my song selection and then what I sounded like. And then Heidi Klum called me cute.
So
So
then let's go back a little bit. Hold on. What song did you pick?
so I ended up okay, so to give you a backstory on that,
Did they give you a list of songs,
nah, so and I
or you
wonder, I
get to
think
pick anything?
I wonder if I'm telling on myself. I think my NDA is up. I think so. I think whatever. I wonder if I get a cease and desist from NBC after this. Um, so no, so in the process, so once you plan that you're going on the show, the dates that you're doing everything, then it's like, okay, what are we singing? And so it's up to me and the producer. So you have the producer who's in charge of music acts, and then you have the musical director who's the one that creates the arrangements for what these singers are performing. So through like emails and voice notes and stuff like that, you're shooting ideas and stuff like that. And it was a difficult process because you would think, oh, I'll sing this song, I'll sing this song, I'll sing this song. What you're not thinking about from the business aspect is license clearances. Not only license
Mm.
clearances,
Is
are
that
there
really a
other
thing for
yeah,
shows like this?
it is very much a thing. Yeah.
Wow,
Like
I had
like
no
for
idea.
example, I think I suggested doing an Adele song, and they were like, "Yep, no Adele song is getting cleared. Like no Adele song is getting cleared." Yeah.
So
So
did they
it
give you
depends
a
on
list of songs that don't?
no. So it was a lot of just me kind of just scouring the internet and just being like, "Damn, I've sang this before. This would be good. I've sang this before. This would be good." And again, a lot of back and forth of suggestions from them, suggestions from me, sending voice notes, like getting feedback. Um, and not only is it a licensing thing, you also think about as a singer, again, anybody that's doing acrobatics or dancing or anything, you don't have to worry about competing with other shows because there's really not a lot of shows on air that are doing that. As a singer, not only do you have to worry about getting the song licensed and cleared to sing the song, you also have to think, is someone singing it on American Idol? Is someone singing it on The Voice? Did someone do it recently? Even if they're not saying, so all these things, you're like, yo, if someone did this a month ago on another show, we don't want to kind of replicate the same thing, even though it would potentially be a different arrangement. You just don't
Right.
want that competition. So it came down to, I'll be honest, again, full transparency, I didn't know what I was singing until my sound check on stage. It was between two songs. It was Miley
Oh, they
Cyrus's
close
"Flowers."
there.
Yeah. Oh no, no, no. When I tell you a strenuous and very unique process, and again, my situation might have been unique. Maybe someone else's is probably not as strenuous. But yeah, so it was between James Arthur, "Falling Like the Stars." Yeah, that song, and then Miley Cyrus's "Flowers," and
Oh, okay.
we went with Miley. So we did a ballad version, and it was very different. Like I got a standing ovation at the end. I did fumble during my audition, um, but I recovered and got a standing ovation at the end. And like I said,
Oh man.
all those compliments from the judges. But no matter the positive outcome that I had, again, you're just competing with so many other acts, and again, not only singers, dancers, acrobatics, um, comedians, magicians, like you said. It came down to like the producers were really, really gunning for my audition to air because of how positive the results were. And it came down to like the last week. There was like they do all the filming,
Yeah.
then the
Okay.
show airs, and they pick which it airs for X amount of weeks, and literally came down to the last week. Like as they tell the story, my face was on the board. And it just didn't pan out to where it auditioned. Like it got so close to the point where I was already scheduling watch parties here in South Florida. I was trying to utilize some connections at NBC to do whatever. I forgot the name of the daytime show that they have here locally. Like really be about the South Florida community, you know, and yeah, it just didn't pan out the way that, you know, we had anticipated or wanted to, but we kind of knew that going into the like, as we're in the green room getting ready for that final day of auditions, they tell you no matter, even if you have a positive result, it doesn't guarantee that your audition's going to air. So we had already kind of had that expectation set, so it wasn't like a surprise. What was a surprise is like, damn, like this was such a positive thing, like, yo, they gotta air it,
It's like
right?
you
But
don't want to leave. You like experience that. It's like that must have been gut wrenching. Like finding out that yours isn't airing after doing all that, experiencing all the the acts that were there. It just makes you like want it more. Kind of like the Florida Panthers when they went to the Stanley Cup final. They're
you want to
so
go again.
close,
You yeah, yep,
so
yep.
close. They didn't end up winning it against Vegas, but
But
taking it away from you. Like I can only imagine how
and it
gut
makes you want
wrenching
to.
that must have made you feel.
Yeah, it was. There was some of that. I think I was bummed. Like I said, I already had the expectation of, regardless of the outcome, this may not air. But there was a part of me that was like, yo, we got so far, like it has to air, like it has to. And I've kind of learned to, like, things that are out of my control, to not stress too much. And this was definitely one of those things that was out of my control. The only thing that I could control throughout the entire process was preparation and what I did on that stage. And while I saw areas of opportunity within myself from the prep standpoint, I gave it my all on that stage, you know. And again, the verbal results um, were positive. I guess everyone's dream when you do something like that is to be on TV, in front of
Of course.
millions.
Going back to wanting the attention, right?
Yeah,
Wanting
yeah,
everything to
absolutely,
be on you. And
exactly.
great point to Rock and Nose here. Marcel, don't give up. The most successful people from American Idol, in this case, Americans Got Talent, don't always win.
Yeah,
So,
not facts.
great job.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for that. No, you're absolutely right. Yes. Yeah, and again, I think it's something that I could potentially revisit. It's I think because I was on there once, if I wanted to reach out again and say, hey, can we try this again? And
Honestly,
it could be a nice redemption story.
you should do it. Look, the way I look at things, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, I mean, if you ever get that
Is
opportunity,
that Wayne Gretzky or Michael Scott?
Wayne Gretzky, it could be both. It's BigCeaz as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And to your point though, it was definitely a chapter that I'm thankful for. Again, it was something that my wife got to experience. Like, my wife got to meet Terry Crews. Like, it was just cool as
Dude,
shit.
how cool is Terry Crews?
Oh, he's cool and big. He's fucking, yo. Like, I shook his hand. I'm like, holy shit. Oh yeah, nah, really, really nice guy though.
Does he really have that big smile?
Oh yeah, no, he's all of that. He's all of the personality that, like, seeing it in person. It's funny. I don't get starstruck for anybody, but there is something to seeing someone that you're always so used to seeing in movies or on television. There's something to seeing them in person for the first time that's just like, oh shit.
My
Like,
favorite
wow.
part with
Like,
him on was in the Gridiron Gang with Adam Sandler.
but I haven't seen that in so long.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no, I
god,
love that
when
movie.
they're in prison and he's got these big and he's like walking around, baby back bitch.
Was that was I wonder
Or
if, and maybe you could look this
the
up.
long what I don't
No, no,
know.
no. It was the longest yard. It was the
The
longest
longest
yard.
yard. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
It was,
Dude,
but was longest yard before White Chicks, or was White Chicks before longest yard? Maybe we could
let me look
stat
that
check.
up here.
Where's
Let me
it?
look.
Where's our stat checker? We don't have
Right?
one of those yet.
Hey, Jeremy, Rockin' Nose, help us out here. Yeah, no, I mean, I think White Chicks was first.
I feel like White Chicks might have been first, because I feel like outside of, because he also had a big role in Friday After Next.
Yep.
But there was like a little run there. So now I'm trying to think of what was first in those movies. I want to say maybe Friday After Next was first, and then White Chicks,
That
and
might
then
have been
longest.
first.
That feels right. I don't know how accurate that is. Just feels right.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Hey,
Oh man.
I feel like we should report that cats are up 1-0.
Oh, are they?
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
The game started. Okay, there we go. Breaking news: the Cats are up 1-0 against Buffalo.
I love
Let's
it.
go.
5 minutes in.
Let's go.
That's what you know. What that's what we need. That like you were saying at the start. What we need to start doing is starting these games off strong.
Yeah,
Like stuff like that.
it
Like
all starts with
setting
like scoring
setting the
first.
tone
Like,
early. Yeah, setting the
yeah,
tone early is extremely important, and we've not been doing that. We've
no,
not been doing that this season.
but
Consistently, I could say.
yeah, with all these injuries, I mean, it's kind
Yeah.
of
Oh
hard
yeah.
to like establish what we've had these last couple of years. But give them
Absolutely.
credit. Give the team credit. They're still in it.
They're still afloat. They're still,
Three
listen.
points.
They're
3 points
there.
out. We
They're
win
there.
today. We're only 1 point behind, so
Yo, we're right there.
we're
We're
right
right there.
there. I kind of want to answer this question. What's up, Big C? Oh, not that one. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did see that pop up. Yeah.
What
What song
song
would you
would you
sing?
sing, Big C? You're all I ever wanted.
But it's got to be like a cinematic version because you know how those songs. I mean, those shows. The shows do these cinematic versions of these
Right?
songs. So you got to do like a cinematic version of "I Want You
Oh,
Back."
I would, dude. I would have my chair, and then when it's like, I want you back, I'd spin my chair in 360
Hell yeah!
or
And then
180.
we sit and then we have pyro on the chair. So as you're spinning around, just like yeah, that'd be
That'd be
fire.
sick.
Literally fire. Like literally
Big
fire.
C's on American's Got Talent.
Gonna start calling you Big Pyro.
Oh,
Big Pyro.
oh man, that's so great. All right, so let's get back into knowing that you didn't make the audition or make it into the audition show part. What has that brought to you now? Where are you at now in your music career?
Yeah, so I got back home from that and it kind of I don't want to say forced me. I'm going to use the word forced just for lack of other words right now, but it forced me to kind of rebrand like my artistry and who I was as an artist. And I was sitting on some music, and so myself and my management team at the time, we were I really couldn't publicly talk about the results of the show and what happened, but I wanted to let my management team know, like, hey, this might happen. So let's kind of not so much get ahead of it, but let's capitalize off of what potentially could happen here. So it really, when I got home, really allowed me to, or inspired me to focus in releasing some of the music that I was sitting on. So in July of because the audition was in April of 2023. So in July 2023, I dropped a single called Beautiful Tragedy. And like I said, despite the goal was to drop that somewhat around the same time my potential audition would have aired. And that could have been something that, could have, helped the success of the song. But again, it didn't. But it really just, it like just, despite the outcome, despite not my audition not airing, it just inspired me to keep going. It just inspired me to like, again, I hope that anyone that has a dream gets to experience anything close to what I was able to experience with the America's Got Talent audition. It was motivating. It was reassuring. Because I'll be honest, I'm not the kindest to myself in terms of my confidence and my abilities and what I do. But it really showed me that I should probably be more confident and more confident in what I bring to the table and my abilities. And it really like put a battery in my back when I came back. And so so dropped that single, did a lot of promo for it. The year after, dropped another single. And it's just, fast forward to now, doing live shows with, my band. It's just inspired me to keep going. It's just inspired me to, to know that this is my purpose. At whatever level that I'm doing this at, I love entertaining people, and I love, and whether it's a small crowd, whether it's a large crowd, because I've entertained the smallest of smallest crowds and the largest of largest crowds. And when I tell my story and the story behind some of the songs that I perform, the amount of people that come up to me after telling me how much that song meant to them, and how my testimony about where this song came from really relates to them, and that's what it's all about. And so stuff like that just it inspires me to keep going. And again, I think it really all started with that America's Got Talent opportunity. I felt like it was a good and solid reset for me, and just a a way of the universe telling me to keep going.
No, that's a great example, great point. And I want everybody to take a look at the QRL code or the QR code. That way they can go onto your website here, guys.
Yeah,
Go
yeah, yeah.
to LedouxSings.com, right?
Yep.
And I believe your album, a couple of videos are on there. Um, you did a great job on the song "Use Somebody." I love that version. Very
Yeah.
like acapella, like mellow. You
Yeah,
did
yeah.
such
It's totally
a
totally
job with
different
that,
from the Kings of Leon version.
right?
Absolutely.
I love that song. I love that song. So, if everybody wants to go check out Marcel Ledoux's website, go check him out. All his
Thank you.
social
Yeah.
media, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Make sure you guys go like his page, support him.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
we really appreciate you. What you're doing, and continue that confidence, man.
Thank you.
Don't ever give up, and use this as a motivation to get yourself to where you want to be. And
For sure.
and I know you love helping kids, and I kind of want to get into like how you're using your platform to help kids. This past in December, when we had
Hmm.
the holidays, you ended up donating to the Jono DiMaggio Children's Hospital some toys. Talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd love to talk about that. That's probably my favorite part of what I do. Yeah. So this is the third year that I was able to do a holiday toy drive. The first year I did it was, so I have a buddy of mine who has a nonprofit called Team of Hope. He's been around for a while doing a lot of things for underprivileged kids in particularly North Miami, with a lot of back to school stuff, holiday stuff. And I found it a way to I've, again, going back to my core purpose of wanting to do music, I always wanted to find a way to give back. And I always thought that you needed to reach a certain level of fame or financial success to make a difference. And if anybody's watching and feels the same way, that's not the case. You really could start right now. There's so many ways to get involved. There's so many organizations to get involved with, even in a smaller way. All you got to do is really just ask. I know it's just simply putting yourself out there and asking. And it like, I feel stupid sometimes, but people are looking for more people to help, to give back. So if you're looking for a reason to give back in any way, shape, or form, this is your reason. But yeah, so I partnered up with a buddy of mine. He has three kids now. One of his I think it was his middle kid, his son by the name of EJ. EJ got cancer, got treated at Joe DiMaggio, beat cancer, and since then, my buddy opened up a foundation under his son's name called EJ's Kids. That his
That's
son,
awesome.
even at a young age, is still somewhat involved in. Right, obviously, from the business standpoint, my boy handles all that stuff, but EJ, still comes out and participates in some of the toy drives and the drop offs and stuff like that. But through EJ's Kids, every year around Christmas, I do a show, and at that particular show, I have a toy drop off box, and I promote it all the way up until the night of the show. And yeah, so I've partnered up with EJ's Kids, and this past year was a little bit different. It was the first time that I was doing it still with EJ's Kids, but a little bit differently, a little bit more independently. And I was a part of some buddies of mine reached out to me in October and like, hey, we're thinking about recording a Christmas EP. Do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, absolutely. So we one day we gathered at University of Miami in one of the concert halls, and we recorded a Christmas EP live. I did Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And then, we mixed, mastered the EP, and then we're like, yo, we want to do a show in December. And that gave me the opportunity to have a toy drop off box at the Dead Flamingo in Cayocho for a good 3 to 4 weeks, and leading up to the show. Actually, we even left it there a little after the show, if I'm not mistaken. But we had a whole Christmas show there. Shout out to the Dead Flamingo because they were so gracious
That's
to allow
awesome.
me to. They were so gracious to allow me to keep the donation box there for all that time. And we collected, I want to say, if I had to throw a number out there, like close to 300 toys that we were able to give to kids at
That's amazing.
Children's Hospital. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to. We're already talking about and coordinating what next year looks like, and we're trying to
That's
year over
amazing.
year we're trying to make this thing bigger. So yeah, it's something that I love doing around the holidays. If there's anything that I'm not a good receiver in terms of gifts. I tell people don't get me anything. I don't like it. I love giving more than receiving. So it really is something that I enjoy doing. And in addition to that, what I also do during the summer is through, like I said, my buddies, I guess you would say the parent nonprofit, the Team of Hope. He does a back to school drive every year. So this past year, did a show in the summer where we collected school supplies, and all those school supplies are added to backpacks, and kids come and pick up those backpacks. So they're ready and set up for success for the school year. So that's something I'm looking forward to continuing with this upcoming summer. Also want to get into, my brand, everything that I stand for is all big on mental health. So
Oh,
I had
same here.
yeah, I had a minor partnership with To Write Love on Her Arms, but I'm looking to kind of expand to something more local down here, and see what I want. I definitely want to be a huge advocate for mental health and mental health resources. So yeah, I'm excited for what this year has to bring musically, and just getting those opportunities to support um, those in need. But yeah, again, um, it's something that we do every year, and next holiday season is going to be it's going to be exciting. We're like I said, we're already talking about what next holiday season looks like.
And I can't wait because I'm definitely gonna help you out this year. I definitely want to get involved and help you get that
Yeah,
going.
yeah. No, we should
Um,
definitely talk about how we could collaborate on something. Yeah, that would be amazing.
and I don't know if you know, but I was diagnosed with chondrosarcoma 4 years ago, and Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital has been my go-to place since I came to Florida. If it wasn't for
They're
that
amazing.
hospital, I wouldn't be here today.
They're
And even
amazing,
as
yo.
an adult, they still find a way to help me out because of my disease. And because of them, I am alive today. And
I
when I
love it.
was partying with Barkov at 11, I told him, thank you for doing what you do to that hospital, donating and, allowing people and kids and family to feel like wanted and feel like they're they're important to the society. Because
Absolutely.
sometimes when you're in the hospital and you're sick, you can't go out and do a lot of these things. So it can be mental health is such a big thing that I advocate because I've been there where I stayed at that hospital for 2.5 months. So I can only imagine what these kids are going through as well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
being able to support them, um, thank you, Marcel, as well.
Of
Thank
course.
you for everybody. So definitely, whenever you bring this up or get this going, we definitely would love to help you out for
Oh
sure.
yeah, no, we're definitely gonna figure it out, man. I think they're a great hospital. They've done wonders for my family personally too over the years. So to your point, those kids are in that hospital depending on their what they're dealing with, what they're fighting. They're there for months at a time, and so
Yeah,
some of them. That's why it's important for me, especially with the toy drive, is because some of
yeah.
them don't get any kind of semblance of quote unquote normal Christmas.
No,
So
no.
if if
A lot
if
of
if
these
I
kids
could,
are there just waiting to get transplants or heart transplants or heart disease
yeah.
or different things like that. And I, I I'm really good friends with the teacher that works there. His name is George Kalam. He's a homeschool teacher and he works
Hmm,
at the hospital and he actually teaches the kids while they're in there. He's a great person,
that's amazing.
great guy. I've known him for
Yeah.
years. He he was my home. I ended up dropping into his like homeschool when we used to call in, and he used to be the teacher. So I've known him for a long time, and great person, and I know the work that he does, and those kids are unbelievable, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
really need that support from us.
absolutely. Yeah. Again, I just, you know, like I said, I think I used to think, and I guess this is ignorance, right? I used to think that I had to reach a certain level of success or fame or whatever that looked like to help and contribute, and I couldn't have been more wrong. And if me doing this toy drive, if it's funny, if I could say right now, it's like kind of like a thought in my head. I don't know what my music career holds. I don't know what level of success or fame or notoriety I'll reach. But if there's one thing that I would love to and continue to do, regardless of what level I reach, the holiday for me. If I could do it, if I could put on a show where I get to perform and bring some other friends, other bands along, and the goal is to collect toys for these kids at Joe DiMaggio, I will do that until I'm not able to, because I just feel like that is uh, our responsibility as humans, is to take care of one another as much as possible. So if this is my way of contributing and giving back, even in the smallest way, I'm
Yep.
gonna do it. I was given this talent. I was given platforms that I don't know if I've deserved, but I've been given them, and I'm going to continue using them in the most positive and intentional way that I can.
Yeah, and that goes to show that maybe America's Got Talent wasn't your time yet,
Yeah,
and the universe has a way of giving us other opportunities and showing us where we need to be, right? So,
yeah, no,
um,
absolutely.
I
Timing is everything.
truly believe that
Hard work is important, but timing, it's never
timing is
it's
a
never
lot.
it's it's
Yeah,
never it's never on our time. It's never when we
no,
want it or when we think it's supposed to happen. Never,
exactly,
never, never,
exactly,
never.
exactly. So what's next for your music career? Any projects, songs, besides the organization that you're coming up? Any new music coming up here?
I'm currently writing some new stuff. Yeah, so like I said, I had a batch of songs that I was excited to release, and I think I've honestly probably emotionally moved on from them. Maybe some of them will come out because there's some in there that I'm still attached to. But I'm excited, and I could officially say that I'm working on new stuff with some of my guys, and yeah, we're already planning some live shows coming up here over the course of the year. But
Any particular place that you play here in South Florida? So maybe that somebody that wants to come out and see you one day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. A lot of the places, funny. A lot of people that support me are like, "Yo, are you doing anything in Broward?" And it's either I'm doing something wrong or not looking in the right places. But I come to find that a lot of places don't really like. I don't want to say like or support original music, but they much rather some of these bands that are just all cover songs, and
Mm,
because obviously it's stuff that crowds are familiar with. It keeps crowds there. It keeps them spending money. So there's not a lot of venues that support original music in that sense. And I'll be honest with you, no knock against any of these bands or solo acts that do nothing but covers, because I have family that does that. I have friends, close friends that do that, and that's their bread and butter. That's how they make money. But that's just not something that I'm interested in. I'm
yeah,
very interested in performing my original music, maybe throwing in a cover here and there. So yeah, so I've yet to, and again, maybe I'm doing a poor job at putting effort into it to finding somewhere in Broward to do that. But like Miami's probably, and even living in Broward, traveling to Miami's probably been my best luck. Bar Nancy, the Dead Flamingo, um, Savage Labs is another place. Like, there's a few venues, some places that I would love to perform that are staples in Miami: Las Rosas, Churchill's. Those are some places that I'm looking to. I have a few bucket list venues, some bigger venues. The Fillmore, Culture Room, Revolution. Like, I have some bucket list venues on my list for this year, and let's see if the stars align. Like I said, we're working on some new stuff. We're being very intentional um, with how we want to attack this thing. So yeah, let's see if I could get to check off some of those lists on my bucket list this year.
I think you will, man. I definitely have all the confidence and faith in you,
I
Marcel, and
appreciate it.
I think you're definitely going to get things done. We're gonna go real quick. I want to show everybody. This is one of my favorite pictures that I've seen of you, and I think you know which one I'm talking about,
I
right?
already know where you're
It,
going.
it brings some nostalgia back to
I
when I
already know
was a
where you're
kid.
going. except
I
except
love it. I don't know
except
about
Quail,
you, but Doug was my favorite cartoon in
except
the
Quail Man
90s,
wasn't carrying
bro.
around you. Quail Man wasn't carrying around Henny, but
Hey, he's all grown up. Doug all grown up right there. There we go.
that's the stressed out version of Quail Man, just carrying around Henny with him.
But I do want to ask you, who wore it better?
I don't. Oh, yeah.
I don't
Ceazing
know,
got me. Hey, Ceazing got me
guys.
beat, dog. Ceazing got me beat. You got me beat, bro. Like, I don't think there. You know what? There's no debate. There's
I had
no.
to bring this up because I'm like, no way,
Dog,
no way,
you are really spot on. The parallels between you and I are
right?
ridiculous.
That's why I told you off air.
The
I'm like, dude,
the
we have so
parallel.
many similarities. Like,
I
I
love it.
feel like you're a brother from another mother.
Listen, I have to be. I have now. I'm gonna start questioning my parents. I'm like, hold on. What's going on
It's
here?
like, wait a minute, am I Peruvian or am I Mexican still?
Yo, either way, the cuisine, the Peruvian and Mexican cuisine is all fire. So I don't think we're losing either way.
The
I
only
don't think
thing
we're
is, I'm
losing
missing the
either way.
Hennessy there.
Listen, maybe it's a good thing you don't have the Hennessy
Yeah, I
there.
don't know. I might get a DUI.
Nah, you killed this, yo. That is so, and that was what 2016. So that was definitely years before. So you were ahead of me, man. So nah, so you definitely wore it better, bro. You killed that. You killed
So
that.
yeah, man, I just
I
wanted
love
to
that.
bring that.
That is hilarious. That is
It just
hilarious. You are sitting on that one. You are sitting on that one.
I'm telling you, when I saw that, I'm like, damn, I gotta show Marcel this because
And
he's gonna love it.
you waited to now to show me. I love.
Oh yeah, of course.
We didn't talk
We
about
gotta
like
save the
that
best for
reaction.
last, right?
That reaction was very genuine. We didn't talk about this before we started. We started recording. Like that was the first time I saw that. That was bravo, bravo. I love it. You definitely wore it better.
Oh
Definitely
man,
wore it better.
I think we both worked good. How about that?
Let's do that. I think one of these Halloweens we need to bring it back. I think we need to
You,
bring it back.
we need to bring it back. That would be so great.
I love it.
Hey, maybe a Panther game,
I'm kind of I'm kind of down. I'm
right?
kind of
They
I'm
need to
kind of
have
down.
like a '90s theme night, and
Hey,
then you and I just come in as Doug.
you know what? You be Doug, I'll be Pork Chop or Roger.
No, you can't be pork chop. What about Skeeter?
I'll be Skeeter. I'm down to be Skeeter.
But
I'm down
we
to be
gotta,
Skeeter.
but you gotta paint yourself blue. I don't know.
Listen. As long as the paint
I don't
comes
know if
off,
your
I'm
wife would
down.
like that.
Listen, I commit to the bit, yo. I commit to the bit.
I love it. I love it. Marcel, tell them where everybody can find you, man.
Yeah, so pretty much like you said in that QR code should be my links for my Apple Music and my Spotify pages. On socials, it's Ledoux Sings, LEDOUXSINGS. That's on Instagram, that's on Twitter. Yeah, that's it. And through those platforms, I will, every time I have a show coming up, I will post about it, I will promote it. And yeah, I hope I have something coming up real soon that I could invite people to and meet fans of the BigCeaz Show.
And I kind of want to, before we end this, I want to go into the Big C's quick hitters. I'm
Ooh,
gonna
let's
ask a
go.
few questions
Let's
and
go.
just answer them as best as possible.
Okay. C.
Okay.
Oh, it's not multiple choice? No.
No multiple choice. No multiple choice. So you're off the hook on that one.
Okay.
Which artist made you fall in love with music?
Michael
Michael.
Jackson.
Oh, okay. Like,
I feel like when you say, I mean, that could have been George Michaels, but yeah, when I say Michael, I feel like that's universal.
okay.
But my
MJ.
apologies, Michael. Yeah, MJ.
MJ.
Yep. Yeah, MJ for sure.
Awesome. Okay. One word to describe stepping on the AGT stage.
Exhilarating.
I like that. Biggest nerve before the audition or biggest excitement after? Which is better? Or which is the biggest nerves before an audition or the biggest excitement after? Which one do you like more?
Is this AGT particularly or just in
Any
general?
in
Like,
general, in general.
I think, oof. I think the excitement, the gratification afterwards. There's a little bit of relief there. There's a little bit of excitement. There's leading up. There's naturally for me. There's nerves because I'm worrying about like is everything going to go okay. I think that gratification afterwards is probably something I'd much rather experience than what's going on before I step on stage.
Artists you would love to collaborate with.
Timberlake,
Oh, let's
easy.
go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's easy.
Okay. Song that always gets you emotional.
Ooh, song that always gets me emotional. Unsteady by the X Ambassadors.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. If I probably could select something better, but for the sake of the segment and quick hitters, that song is on my mind and for good reason because we're working on something.
Okay.
Um,
Ooh, okay.
but yeah, Unsteady by X Ambassadors for sure.
Studio or live performance?
Ooh, live. Live performance.
There's nothing
There's
like
there's
being in front of a crowd,
nah,
right?
there's nothing like being in front of the crowd, but there's also a beauty in um maybe and not particular studio because the traditional studio experience, while it still exists, there's so many other creative experience. Like for example, just did a writing session in my buddy's living room the other day, and we had instruments everywhere, we had wires everywhere, we had people, like it looked and felt maybe uncomfortable, but it was exciting. It was, there was camaraderie there. Like it was fun, So there's something special about like sitting down and creating with like-minded individuals with one goal, and that's to create the best product. But definitely, live being on stage is there's nothing like it.
I agree. I agree. I took acting class before in college, and just being in front of a crowd, like
Hmm.
performing, there's nothing like you get all nervous and shit. But once you're in it, like everything just
Yeah.
it's all out the window, and
And
you're just in that mindset of just in your own world,
you're gonna
and
get lost. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Kind
get
of like your
lost.
kind of like your performance at 11, when the guys won the championship. you
Oh
you
shit!
you definitely were
There we,
you definitely were live.
bro. I don't know if I was lost or if I was actually dying from all that champagne going down my nose.
Bro, I want you to know, not to derail this segment, I just had to throw that joke in there, but
That's great.
watching the videos, I felt like I just felt this immense amount of joy to watch how much you were enjoying yourself and how much like the guys were embracing you and the crowd was embracing you.
Honestly,
I felt like it was happening to me. Honestly, I was so
the crazy
overjoyed.
part just watching Kulikov's face trying to help me take my shirt off. And then Rodriguez is like, "Yeah, you're the fucking man." And then here's Chucky like drunk his ass off, like has no idea what's going on.
I
He's
love
just
that he
going
came
as it
looking for you,
goes,
yo. I love that he came looking for you, dog.
bro.
That has got to be that's got to be AGT level experience.
It is
that has to be it there, right there.
like it's like one of those golden buzzer moments.
Yo, absolutely. That exactly.
Okay, last one. One
Ooh,
word that you want fans to remember you by.
loving. I have a right here on my chest. I have a tattoo with a character that I actually designed called, and it says "Lead with Love." And everything I do, I try to filter through a filter of love, and love could be an act of kindness, kind things to be said, even your thoughts could and should probably be filtered through a filter of love. And so if there's one word that I would love for, whether you've known me for years, whether you get to meet me once, loving is is probably the thing that I want to be, remembered for.
That's amazing, man. And for me, it's one love. Everybody just needs to have
Yeah.
one love, and
Yeah.
that goes along with loving. And
Yeah.
I just want to thank you again, Marcel
No,
Ledoux.
thank you, dude.
You, this was so much fun. We could honestly spend hours here, but we got a hockey
Yeah,
game we got to catch,
we really
and
do.
we definitely got to
We're at
get
the
some.
end of the first.
Okay, we're still one up.
2-1, 2-1. And did you see?
Buffalo
I
or
think
us?
2-1 us, 2-1 us.
Okay, cool.
Did you see also news? They changed the time of puck drop next
Yes,
Monday
I believe
to
so.
accommodate for fans. And I think Chucky kind of spearheaded that, because I think, didn't he say like last week in like an interview, he's like, I hope they change the time so we can get
Yes,
to
yeah,
watch the game.
hey, it's crazy how what Chucky says goes, right?
Listen,
Hey,
as it stands right now, he's the sports mayor of this town. As it stands right now.
hey, he needs to go to the game, celebrate with the boys afterwards. So, and
That'd
you
be
know what?
amazing.
I'm not gonna be able to go to the Panther game that day. I'll be tailgating with our boys, Caneswear.
Man,
So that'll be fun. Um, where will you be?
you know what? I'm up in the air. I I work for. So I told you what I do for work, but I also have another gig that awards me a pretty cool opportunity to do. How do I simplify it? It's catering for a lot of sports and professional teams, and
Cool.
I actually had the pleasure, and not me personally, but my company had the pleasure of catering for our boys, the Cats, maybe last month on their flight from Dallas to here. But there's an opportunity for us to potentially cater something that day at the stadium. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be working. I don't know. Yeah, but if not, I'll probably. I've kind of moved away from like big watch parties. I've not kind of been like into some of that stuff like lately. I don't know. Like I think I'm in an era of really enjoying intimate stuff with people that I love, whether it's my father-in-law, my best friends. I just like kind of being like in a controlled environment. You know what I'm saying?
Of
So
course.
if I'm not working, I'm at someone's house, a loved one's house, and taking it all in, because I'm also a sore loser too. So if we lose, I don't want to be.
Sounds like you've been hanging
Which we're
out with
not
good.
gonna lose.
I was gonna say, it
Which we're
sounds like
not
it's
gonna
been.
lose, yo.
I was gonna say you got to be
We're not
confident,
gonna
but
lose.
yeah, man. No, I appreciate you, Marcel. It was such
No,
a
thank
pleasure
you, bro.
having you on the Big C show. Love you,
Thank you,
bro. You
man.
do
Love
such
you
an
too, brother.
amazing job with your music.
Thank
Great
you, man.
job of just being motivational to anybody and being a great human being. Best of
Thank
all,
you,
great
man. That
human
means a
being.
lot.
You
That
know,
means a lot to me. Thank you
we
so
love
much, man.
you, and like I
Love
always
you too,
say,
brother.
one shift at a time, one period at a time, one
That's
game at
it.
a time.
That's
Let's
it.